Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. But today's rather 5 things learned from the 2023 Six Nations. Basically, these are the sort of 5 takeaways, 5 opinions that I have formulated based on the last 2 months of action. Some of them could be controversial, some of them are pretty straightforward. But more importantly, I want to know what you took away from the Six Nations Champions. I want to know what your sort of 5 things learned are. Maybe even put them down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are what you took away. This is what you think based on these performances. At the end of the day, Forever Sports is all about fan opinion, fan engagement, and we want to know more from you guys what you guys think is happening in the world of rugby. But yeah, so basically we're going to go through 5 different things. I'm going to tell you why I think so and stuff like that. And you can put it up in the comments and let me know if you agree, disagree. Before I get to number 1, please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. But apart from that, let's get stuck into it. So the scene is pretty straightforward. You know, they are the best team in the world. And we kind of know that they're the best team in the world. But it's one thing being ranked the number 1 team in the world. It's quite another thing for me to be actually considered the best team in the world. And I think Springbok fans will know that a lot of the time people told us that we weren't number 1 team in the world, even when we were ranked there. And, you know, our sort of responses were we were world champions, stuff like that. I think it is very safe to say that Ireland are currently the best team. I think they've currently got the best game plan, the best players, the best depth. And right now they're at their peak, you know. And that's not to say that, for example, they're going to win the World Cup. That's not to say that they can't lose a match. But I think right now they are the most complete side in the world. I think New Zealand, South Africa, for example, still have steps to take. And I think France, I'll tell you what, are playing some fantastic rugby, but have also shown that, you know, they've been a little bit inconsistent in the past few weeks. Maybe they've sorted it out. But for me, Ireland is currently so consistent that I don't think any team right now is as complete as Ireland are. Talk about being controversial of saying Ireland's the best team in the world. I still think that France are the overwhelming favourites for the World Cup. The last 2 weeks, we saw a French side click. The first couple of weeks, we still saw some decent French performances, but we didn't see that French side that sort of struck fear into every single head coach's, you know, heart when they think about playing them. The last couple of weeks, we saw it, and they were all going to be playing at home. And if they can click, and if they can, it all can all come together, they're a side that knows how to score points against any team in the world. And I do think, whilst Ireland will probably go in as number 1 in the world, France will be the favourites, given that home advantage, and given the fact that they've just got so many world-class players who can play with a bit of BMT. Let me know if you'd agree or if you disagree. Now, maybe this is a bit premature, seeing as Warren Gatland hasn't been there particularly long. But I don't see Wales being able to flick a switch and being able to put enough things in place in training and limited a few matches to be genuinely competitive at the World Cup. I don't think it was the right decision to sack Wayne Pivac. I don't think that they're better off it. I'm not saying that maybe Warren Gatland was a bad decision to get back, because maybe it does work for them. But I just think at this stage, you know, I saw a couple of steps forward taken from Wales, and I think maybe Warren Gatland is a coach that can try and, you know, turn a team around quite quickly. Maybe play some very basic tactics or some very not easy to implement, but achievable goals. I just don't see them being able to sort of turn themselves around from what was quite an abject Six Nations to being genuinely competitive come the World Cup. On the flip side of Wales, I think the Scotland team's got so much potential. I genuinely think that they've got world-class players in very important positions, and if those world-class players pitch up, this Scotland team can do jobs there. They were the only team that didn't concede a bonus point against Ireland. They were competitive against Ireland. They were competitive against Scotland. I think they were one of the few teams that just were never outplayed in the Six Nations. Yes, they had some bad moments, and you know, sometimes they switched off. They almost lost to Italy. Italy could have scored a try and could have beaten them. But they were the only team, for me, that were never at one stage sort of blown away or completely outplayed. And I think that's a credit to Gregor Townsend. Managed to turn a team around, which was struggling a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think the front row is starting to shape up. I think Pierre Schoeman's becoming really good. I think that the loose trio can sort of match with the best of them. I think when Finn Russell's playing like that, and when you've got the likes of Tupolotto and Hugh Jones playing the way they do, it's just a very exciting team. And they've always got that sort of maverick ability about them, don't they? We don't really know if they're going to pitch up. We don't really know what they're going to do on a week-in, week-out basis. And I think that makes them quite dangerous. So I'm not saying that they are necessarily a world-class side. I wouldn't say they're within the top 5 best teams in the world right now. maybe they are within the top 5, probably not within the top 4. You know, probably not sitting next to the likes of New Zealand, South Africa, France, and Ireland, but they can be, and I think that's the big takeaway that I've taken from the Six Nations. Maybe the most controversial of the lot. We are in a golden generation of Italian rugby, and the reason I say it, not so much for just this team, because this team is very young and it's going to progress. In the next 10 years, we are going to see the best Italian team we've seen. That's my prediction. It's a big prediction. It's a big prediction. But this Italian rugby hasn't just woken up and suddenly produced a couple of good players in the likes of Menoncello, Paolo Garbizzi, Lorenzo Cannone, Angelo Capuzzo. It hasn't just happened by mistake. Italian rugby has been on the up for a while now, and we've seen it under 20 level. You know, they came third in the under 26 nations. They've beaten England quite a number of times now at under 20 level, and they're only going to get better. And I think that, I don't think they're going to I don't think they're going to shock anybody just yet, maybe. But I think they're also becoming a team where they're good enough to win more games than they are, and that's going to start having to catch up with them, because I don't think when we watch some of the results, they're a team that's better than just a shock Welsh upset, a shock Australia upset. I think they're a better team, man. I think they're a team that can genuinely become a bit like a Wales, a couple of years ago. I'm talking about Wales, not the Grand Slam winning Wales stuff, but the Wales side, which you can never really write off. You kind of expected them to win, and you should beat them, but they're always a tough side to beat. Italy needs to take that next step, where if you don't rock up and play well, they can punish you and they can beat you, and that can be any team. Where they can suddenly arrive and push a French team for 18 months, and they almost did. So I think this Italian generation is a golden generation. I genuinely think in the next 5-10 years, they can genuinely mount a bit of a campaign. If they can get fixtures right, they can get a favourable run and a favourable injury and stuff like that, I don't see why I don't see genuinely why they can't compete for a Six Nations title. So those are my 5 takeaways. I wonder what you think down in the comments below. So give me your opinions. Let me know. Am I off my rocker? Or do you think you agree with a couple of them? I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, until then, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And I'll see you guys all very soon.